Washington State sues rural county for helping ICE round up undocumented immigrants. This is the game the left plays. The state, the power of the state is suing a rural county. So the leftist government, the tyrannical leftist government of Washington State is suing what I'm going to presume is a conservative rural county because the county is complicit in aiding the federal government to enforce federal law. The Washington Attorney General claims in a new lawsuit that the sheriff in rural Adams County has been breaking state law for at least 3 years by helping federal immigration officers round up and collect information on suspected illegal immigrants. And since the election of President Donald Trump, Sheriff Dale J. Wagner has taken the position that the Keep Washington Working Act, a state law passed in 2019, is illegal, the lawsuit states. Because it is. Because state law does not supersede federal law. The law passed with bipartisan support restricts the ability of local authorities to participate in the enforcement of federal immigration law. It's illegal. It's illegal. Supreme Court, you need to get on this shit. Your inability to act or your unwillingness to act is what's causing this country to descend into chaos because you are openly allowing leftists to abuse the Constitution. State law does not supersede federal law. Federal law supersedes state law. So if any state passes a law that attempts to supersede federal law, it is illegal. It does not exist. This sheriff is 100% right. If the state law, I don't care if it has bipartisan support because even the conservatives in Washington State are actually fucking liberals. Right? I don't care if it has bipartisan support. It doesn't make it any less illegal. I'm sorry. That is how the government structure in the fucking United States works. Period. That's just how it fucking works. Period. State law does not supersede federal law. So if federal law comes out and says meth is illegal and a state says, "Oh, we're decriminalizing meth," that law actually does not exist. Right? It actually does not, because federal law actually states that it is in fact illegal. Now, if the federal government comes out and says, we have no position on the use of meth, then states are free to do whatever the fuck they want with it. Okay? But this is what the left does. They are suing, they are trying to silence and prevent conservatives from actually enforcing the law. And then they change language to make it seem like what the person on the right is doing is wrong. Suspected illegal immigrants, undocumented residents are illegal immigrants who live in the state of Washington. Okay? The state of Washington is violating the Constitution and federal law. And the state of Washington should not receive any federal funding and actually should be sanctioned, right? That's actually what should happen to states that aren't complicit with federal law, period. The state's restrictions attempt to tie the hands of law enforcement, making it harder to cooperate with federal agencies that help keep dangerous individuals off our streets. Wagner wrote in a statement posted to Facebook on Monday, public safety should never be a political issue, yet this lawsuit prioritizes ideology over the safety of our communities. That's the truth, for starters. Two, I'm actually already tired of the dangerous individuals off our streets. I don't care if they're dangerous or not. If you break the law, you break the law. You get punished for it. Sorry. According to the state in the lawsuit, the law allows law enforcement agencies to focus on their core duties of public safety by protecting all residents fairly and building trust with the community. Law enforcement is not there to protect the public. Law enforcement is there to enforce the fucking law. I'm sorry. That is just the truth. Law enforcement is not for public safety. Typically, it goes hand in hand and it's considered public safety because if they enforce the law against people who are doing dangerous things, right, which is that's typically how laws come about. We determine that this behavior is dangerous. We're passing a law to criminalize the behavior to punish people who break this law because we deem that it's bad for society. Therefore, that's why they're given an aura of public safety, but law enforcement is actually not there for public safety. Public safety is a secondary effect of enforcing the law. It's supposed to be, right? That's the intent. Fuck, man, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of the left. I'm getting tired of the left and the lies and the abuse of their power. And then they have the audacity to fucking come out and claim that other people are abusing their authority when actually they're not. They're actually just exercising within the constraints of their authority, right? Like I'm fucking sick of it. But I'm not I'm less disgusted with people lying than I am with people actually believing the fucking lies because they are not educated on anything. I'm sorry, but we need to create a common sense fucking test and like fuck all the other tests to actually be able to vote. There needs to be a common sense test. And if you cannot pass a common sense test, well, I'm sorry, but you have no place fucking voting. I, I'm sorry that fuck, that's just the truth. If you cannot read between the fucking lines, right? You just go along with what the media says, right? And we'll actually get in. We'll get into it. Fuck it, and I'll just clip it out of the video, and that's what I'll make the video about. Okay. Um, but yeah.